Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'll give everyone some time to trickle in. Thanks for joining us today. To make it less awkward, why don't we all chat, put in the chat or the Q&A where everyone's kind of joining in from. Welcome. Still more people trickling in. I'll give it a couple more seconds and then we'll kick it off. All right. Welcome. Thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate giving us some time on a Thursday. We're very excited to be presenting another Athennian Unlocked. We used to do these monthly last year, and now we have switched to doing them on a less frequent basis, but giving a lot more in terms of updates and impact every 3 months or so. So really excited to be diving into things today. I'm Charlotte West. I'm the product manager here at Athennian. I'm part of the product team, and I'll be running through a couple of things we've launched, as well as what's coming. So jam-packed with lots of value. Okay, so what we'll cover today, just a quick agenda overview. I'm going to specifically be focusing on Q1 and what we've wrapped up for this past 2-3 months. We've done some significant product launches. We're very, very proud of them. So we'll be running through what we've updated. And then I'm also going to be touching on what is coming soon. We're not at the end of the quarter yet. So there are some things coming within the next 2 weeks. You will hear more from your CSMs. We have resources provided, but all of that will be available to you soon. So we have that end of March target date for some next updates. I'm also going to be doing a product spotlight. We've made some significant updates to Athennian AI. I actually meet with clients pretty much weekly. The whole product team does. So as a team, we're pretty excited to announce some key functionality that we've added to the system, in addition to some things that are going to overlap, which is really nice. And then I'll be running through Q2. So what we have planned starting in April, and what you can expect to see us work on as the time approaches. And then we'll end with a Q&A. So keep in mind, end of the call, I'll spend about 15 minutes running through the Q&A. Please put any questions you have in the Q&A section. We will touch on everything that comes through. And if we run out of time, we'll make sure to follow up as well. Quick T's and C's, just dotting our I's, crossing our T's. You will get an email as well to be able to download the full deck. I have marketing joining me as well today, so they'll make sure everything is going to be sent through. The recording is going to be sent through as well. And then, like I mentioned, please add your questions in the Q&A box. Right, starting off. So let's run through our release. We've had a significant quarter, a lot of updates to features. We chose very specific priorities of items that we wanted to target as a team. And there were reasons behind all of the items we chose, mainly from feedback. We've had a lot of feedback over the months and years for specific things. And we were able to get a lot of these things into Q1. So first thing is structure charts. We know structure charts is involved with a lot of growth transactions, a lot of external requests from banks. Attorneys are often looking at charts. We've made some significant improvements. We're very proud of where it's at. You'll see a couple of things that are coming as well, but we've improved things like load time, performance, the filtering, the legends. More to come as well in Q2. We are going to be upgrading this a lot, but there are some great upgrades that have been made. Custom fields as well, you'll notice has been touched on quite a bit this quarter. It's also going to be touched on towards the end of this quarter. We've expanded the use of custom fields to now be available in entity overviews. They show in charts. Soon we'll be releasing them in people at the end of the quarter as well. So for our clients that want to add things like people wiring details or marital status, things like that can now be tracked in Athennian, very powerful. And that is all coming. Athennian AI, we've made some updates too. I'll be running through them in a little demo, so won't harp on too long. We'll go into the details. And then global search is a new update we've made to our search functionality. We had a lot of feedback and a lot of usage with our regular search tool. It was actually our most highly used feature, which is not surprising. People are often going in there and searching for things, but we wanted to bring the search into your pages so that as you're working in a transaction, you can quickly and easily find and reference people or entities as you're navigating things, going back and forth. It also saves things like personal search history. So we'll touch on that as well. But when you're in a screen or in a section, you will see it at the top of that page. Feel free to use it. Let us know what you think. And then this has been a big release as well. Our current product tool that we use for feedback, Sunset, it actually sunset at the beginning of this year. And as a part of us introducing feedback functionality, making sure we still hear from you, we've had to upgrade it to what we now call the Athennian Ideas Portal. It is a change with how feedback is given and received, as well as viewed. Our concept here is to align feedback with themes and guides that we see throughout all of our client base. We get all the feedback in. We'll touch on this in a little bit as well, but we get the feedback in and then we push through ideas that you can upvote on, comment on, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you do like, just allowing you to channel feedback in a more directional way than you could before with singular list items. Again, the old one had sunset, so this is the new platform we'll be using as we go through things. A reminder as well, please add any questions into the Q&A section as it comes up. So structure charts, we'll go through what we have released. You may not have noticed this. If you have, and you need some help as well with using it, let us know. You can now surface country flags in your charts instantly. You would simply click on the Edit Entity Details button, and within there you have the ability to show the country flags for the region that an entity is domiciled in or registered in, and it instantly gives you that flag in the overview. It's pretty powerful. Small update, but this is the natural way charts are often represented when it comes to banks, when it comes to clients. Lawyers prefer this view as well. It's easier to see what region the entity is actually residing in. So that's the update we made there. It aligns with industry standards, and it just helps you see what you need to quickly. We've also made some changes to company ownership filters in charts. You can now filter down to voting and non-voting shareholders. This is aligned with and kind of working towards that goal of if someone comes to you and says, hey, we would like to see how many voting shareholders this entity has represented or this group of entities has represented, because we need to reach out to them, they need to sign things, we need to make decisions. This helps with giving you that view. You can see voting shareholder entities in the charts, and it would just pre-configure and refilter your charts so that that shows up instead of including what's non-voting. There will be more that's coming in Q2 with how we show charts, shareholders, classes, that kind of thing. We've heard a lot of feedback on structure charts, so it is an initiative we'd like to focus on in Q2, and we'll touch on that in a second. But this is the update we've made in terms of voting and non-voting. Custom fields as enhancements within entity filtering and chart filtering. You can now see those custom fields in your chart filters. So if your custom fields, if you've purchased custom fields and you've added them to an entity, you can now filter by those custom fields when you view your chart. So as an example, if someone wanted to see the tax treatment an entity specifically worked under or operated as, instead of seeing what it was registered as only, you could add that filter in and view the tax treatment entities of the specified field or data or tag. You can also do things like project names, fund names. You can see things like regions. If something was a part of your EMEA region, or maybe it was a part of your high profile client list, you can see these things in there as long as the custom field is added to the entities. It will then show accordingly in the charts, giving you that quick and accurate view. This is a pretty powerful add because it allows you to tailor it to more than what is just available in Athennian as standard. It gives you the ability to add more customized views that's not naturally included by default. If you have questions on anything to do with custom fields as well, it is an add-on. So let your CSM know, we can send more details out too, but it will need to be purchased and added as an additional feature, and your CSM can have that chat with you as well. Global search, like I mentioned, it shows up in every section. So if I'm in a security section and I need to quickly reference a shareholder entity, I can search for an entity or a person within that page, redirect to that entity, open the record, have a look, and then come back to the entity I was in and continue working in securities. It just allows you for more flexible moving to and from entities and people. Please give us feedback on this feature. We do want to continue improving features that are launched. That's our goal. So if you have any comments, if you have any asks, please send that through. We'd love to hear what you think. We've already had feedback for things like showing the status in the overview, because it's important for you to know if the entity you're looking at is actually active or if it's not managed, if they have the same name. Small things like that we're very well aware of, and I've seen that feedback come through. Our whole product team has. So please keep that coming. And as we upgrade the feedback center, you'll see more of these surface through in as ideas. Just so you know, we know that they're there and we're paying attention. Speaking of the new feedback ideas portal, so again, this feedback ideas portal had to be introduced due to the old version of it sunsetting. The tool that we use no longer supports the old view. And so this has been an initiative internally to make sure everything is migrated over smoothly. We keep track of every piece of feedback that any client has given across time. It all lives there. A lot of our clients have reached out to CSMs as well about this. So we are working closely with the CX team to make sure this is as smooth and as comfortable for everyone. Your feedback is valued. We don't want you to be resubmitting feedback. That's not the intent behind this. We want you to make sure that everything is clear, that you feel that we are supporting you, and those ideas will push through. You can again upvote on them. You can comment on them. You can tell us why you don't like an idea, why it wouldn't matter to you. All of that comes through to us. So it's a little bit more collaborative and even more valuable, because instead of just being able to leave comments below, we actually see it come through. We get notified when you are sending through those comments and giving those pieces of feedback on an idea. And collectively, it gives us a really good perspective of how many clients dislike something, how many clients do like something, giving us a better idea of what to put into our roadmap as well. So this value will be seen going forward. I think the clients that do give feedback will really feel the outcome of this, even though it is a big change. And as always, let us know if there's something that you're concerned about or something that you would like to see, and we can see what we can do with that as well, and try and implement as much feedback as we can. If you're curious about where to access this as well, you would access it the same way you do today in the dashboard. You click on View Feedback and it takes you to the portal. So it's within your Athennian instance. Doesn't take you to a new tab. It's directly within the app, which is really nice. And you would submit feedback there as well as see everyone else's upvotes on ideas and the ideas we've pushed through. Okay, so all of that to say, we've had a great quarter so far. I'm quickly going to jump into some things on a different screen, so I'll stop sharing in a second. I want to walk you through some updates we've made to Athennian AI. There are a lot of clients that are using this. We've had very direct feedback on AI. It's a very new approach to us building a feature, as we've mentioned. It's very live, it's very collaborative. So often we'll get feedback one week and within the next week that feedback is implemented. So we're really looking forward to hearing what you think. If you have any questions about AI as well, let your CSMs know. But what we have improved so far this entire quarter is actually quite significant. You can now surface principal changes and update them. So for example, if you get something like a change of directors document and you know an entity has a set view of directors, maybe you have 2 directors and 1 officer in there, and this document states that the 1 officer is going to be resigning, or maybe the role of that officer changes. You upload that document into AI. AI quickly surfaces the details and says, this is what we can see is happening. Do you want to make that change? Yes or no? And you can implement that. It also stays true to just simply filing. So if you just want to file the document, you can also just go ahead and do that. Additionally, we build out registrations and initialize now. So you can surface business licenses, renewal licenses, registrations, foreign qualifications, extra provincials, trademarks, all of those types of things can be surfaced from a document, pre-populated into registrations. All you need to go in is verify the recommended details, and you would build out those registrations. I've built out about 12 in one upload, a couple of seconds. So that's a really good add. We can also extract entity addresses. This is the profile address of an entity. We don't do shared addresses yet, but within Initialize, you can now surface that office address or that business address that belongs to the entity. When you're uploading, it will verify it and it can build that out for you as well. We also have incorporated entity templates in Initialize. This was a big ask. If you have things like common minute book structures in a group of entities, or a set of formation tasks or annual compliance tasks that you do in all of the entities that, let's say, are formed in Delaware or in a certain region, that's often saved in a template. With Initialize now, when you upload a document, you can choose to, in addition to surfacing details, build from an entity template. So we can build out an entity template that has, let's say, 24 tasks saved in a couple of minutes, and bring through that structure. So it makes it really streamlined and easy for your team to form and add information quickly. We've also got the not document naming convention. So if you as a company or as a firm or as a private equity firm have a specific preference for how you name your documents, and you're worried that all these documents that are coming into Athennian might be named a gazillion different things, you can set a preferred format for every document name coming in through Centralize. By default, it will suggest that you name it according to that format, and then you can tweak it if you need to, but it just keeps it really streamlined, user-friendly, and consistent for your teams. And I see some questions coming through. That's great. Keep them coming, and we'll touch on all of them as we end the webinar. All right, so quickly jumping into a demo, I'm actually going to show you one sneak peek of what we have introduced starting tonight. And then there's another sneak peek of an update that will be AI and non-AI. It's going to be everywhere in the application. I'm very excited about it, so is the team. So you should see that come through soon. And then all of the other updates we have run through will be in this deck once they send that through to you after the demo. So I'll stop share quickly. And Grima, I might need you to give me a thumbs up just to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. But I want to share a tab. And I'm just going to pull out the one tab so you don't see all my documents. Perfect. And then I will share this Google Chrome here. Apologies, 1 second. Okay, great. I should have that up. Grima, can you just give me a thumbs up? Did you see that?
Yes, we can, Charlie.
Perfect. Okay, great. I have shared Slack before, and that's not a good thing. So quickly, updates. I don't want to spend too long on this. I am very excited about these updates. So is product. So is CX. I showed it to them yesterday. The first thing you'll notice in Centralize when you come in is that item I mentioned where you can update those principles and then you can also file. It's taking a second to load because of everything I have going on. But when I open a document that I've uploaded, so this is pre-uploaded, I, by default, have those details shown. I can now, in the radio icon button, display my principles. If I so choose to update principles, then I can go in and add the new principles it has suggested from this document. So in here, I've got my client contact, I've got an agent, I've got various different people on this document, but I've also got directors. So here I've got John Doe, Judy McGrath, and it's recommended the principles that I need to add based on what the entity state is today. So if that entity doesn't have any directors, and it's going to pick up that there are new directors on this doc that we should probably add in. You can go in and view all the information. It's prompting me to create a new profile. And then over here as well, it's identified that she actually exists. She is in the system as a person record. And so we can connect her role and her title to this new entity with the appropriate dates. You can do this in bulk. You change as you go. There are some clients that are very excited about this. There are also some clients that don't want to do principal changes. And if that's the case, I'll show you what it would look like if I were to upload a document that had some principal information in, but I didn't want to show that tab. I just wanted to kind of move through the steps and file it. I would simply exclude, including the principal updates. I would upload from my device, and that's going to give me the option to bring in a document. I'll quickly search for one in my desktop. Directors. And I have a corporate summary in here for a company, whiteout ink. And once I hit confirm, that's going to populate in the back. And by default, because I had deselected it while it's loading, it would show no principles. just to save you time so we're not waiting. But it wouldn't show me that tab by default, just allowing me to go through and file and move through the motion, which is really efficient. One other update that we are very excited for, and I'm going to show the principal tab quickly. A small note, this is not going to be available tonight. It'll be available in about a week, but it's a sneak peek. Thank you for being on the webinar. We wanted to give you a bit of a taste of what's coming. We are improving this not only in AI, but across the entire application, wherever you add an affiliation person. So wherever you come in and add a new person record, you now have the ability to see the person, look at the associations, actually view the record in depth, and then decide which one the right one is to connect to an entity or to a contact. So if you had, for example, 12 Kyles listed below in our previous update model, it's very difficult to know which Kyle you were selecting. With this update, you have the ability to click on your records, go through what associations they have, the address, the emails, the phone numbers, and kind of move through things so you select the right record. And again, this is available in every single instance that you would be adding a new person, really helping you streamline what you see and giving you information at hand. So hoping you enjoy that when that's available, and look out for it because we'll make sure we put that in the updates. In addition to all of that, like I had mentioned in Initialize, I'll just quickly show you the sections that we now update. So I have uploaded a document. Here is a whiteout ink document. And as you'll notice, it surfaces details, as it always has. It will also surface my entity office address if I have any. Registrations immediately build out. So here I've got licenses, I've got foreign qualifications, my principals will show up as well like it used to, and then my classes will show as well. So giving you all of those options to build and to add in so that you can really flesh out your entity as much as needed. I will also show you the entity templates quickly, just giving you that perspective straight from the start. So you would upload your documents. However, if you wanted to use an entity template on hand, you can use the template button. You can select the right entity template that you need to pick from. You can choose whether you want to upload minute book structure, documents and folders, and tasks, or some of them and not all. I will just select minute book structure and tasks as an example. I'll hit continue. It's going to pre-populate the format of the minute book for me, giving me the ability to file those documents instantly. And then once the entity is built, it will show me the tasks that it has pulled from that template entity as well. So copying over a lot more and really streamlining things for our teams, which was a big ask that we received from a lot of our clients. So I'll quickly upload. I'll just show you what it looks like, just so we can do most of this together. I'm going to do a couple of documents, actually. I've got a corporate summary, I've got a resolution document, and then I've got just a couple of PDFs in here. So it might not all belong to the same entity in this demo environment, but I would select the right documents. I hit initialize, and then we'll give it a second to think. And again, if there are any questions, even if it's just an exciting comment, feel free to add it in there. I'm excited to see what everyone thinks as well about these updates. Perfect. So I've got that entity built out. And right off the bat, it has pre-populated everything for me. So jurisdiction, formation, company group. I go in, I verify all of this information, I make sure that I'm good with it, but it has saved me a significant amount of time when it comes to combing through the 6-page document and building out my entity. I've also got addresses. It's detected the office address on file for this entity. So this is in Denmark. It's got the postal code. You can see there are a couple things missing, and that's by default. If there's anything missing that AI hasn't really found a match for, you need to go in and add it. That's to keep your data accurate, to keep it clean and up to date. So go in and add that address. Your registrations would pull as well if there are any. Here there are none. So this is a perfect example. It's not going to waste your time if it cannot find a match for the data. In principles here, it's pulled a bunch for me. I will go in and verify everyone, link them to existing records. And then in classes as well, I would go in and verify the shared class. So I'm going to quickly go in. I'll just approve everything to show you what it would look like if I verify it all. I'm going to mark this as a confirmed class. In principles, I'll just go on and verify everything under the impression that I have already verified and made sure it's all good. Here, I'll add in an address line. Let's say we add in 134789 in Denmark, If we're happy with everything, we hit approve. And in the details section as well, I'm happy with all of this. I'll add in my company group because I like to save it to that when I update my entities. And when I'm ready to complete, I would hit next. It'll give me an overview of that entity. So here you can tell it's already thought out ahead of time for me. It's copying over that minute book structure and the tasks, and then it's building out the following information as well, and filing the documents in the right spot. Once I hit create, that's going to build out for me. Here I've got a pre one that I've created, so I'll just open it up and show you what it looks like. But in here, it would flesh out everything within the entity. It would add in all the principles for me. It would populate any tasks that I had saved in my template. It would bring over the minute book structure as well and save the documents in the right filing format. And then it would build out those registrations, those classes, and all of the other details that you saw in that workflow. So we're excited for this. Quick little overview, won't spend too much time on it, but we're very excited for the value this brings. It does take the entity creation and entity adding time down significantly, but it also keeps your data very accurate. And I would say that's probably one of the biggest adds is the data accuracy piece is a big need for teams, especially with how quickly things are changing and moving. So keeping your data clean, accurate, up to date at all times, no matter what team, no matter what speed, is our goal, and we'll continue improving to make sure that we hit that outcome. All right, sharing again. I'm just quickly going to open up this. And Grima confirming you can see that as well.
I can, Charlie, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So actually, we'll end that there. I have a quick poll that I believe, Grima, we've preset. We have 3 polls. So some features, some AI stuff. We're going to put a poll up. Let us know what you think about what you've seen in AI. If you have any questions, please let us know as well. Also, if you have any ideas, let us know. If there's something that we can bring efficiency in, please give us that feedback. But of the demo poll, would love to know, do you want to see a demo? Do you want to hear more information first, or not right now, and something that you want to look at later? I'll give everyone a couple of seconds. Thanks, Karima. All right, so moving on. I want to touch on what's coming next, but this is for Q1. So this is in the next 2-3 weeks. You should see this update, which is very exciting, and we're pretty proud of what the team has been able to achieve. So very key features that are launching in March: custom fields. Custom fields is editable columns in the entity overview. So you can now see those custom fields in your entity list. When you're loading your entities, you can decide, do I want to see things like the fund names this entity belongs to? Do I want to see things like the carry vehicle it might be operating as, tax structure, that kind of thing can be surfaced in the entity list overview to tweak what you see to your needs and your views as you sign into Athennian. We're also going to add the custom fields to the chart legend. So what's really powerful is you can now change things like the shapes or the colors of the entities based on the custom fields they map to. So for example, if you wanted to see all of your entities in the US, but in addition to that, on your legend, you wanted to make it very clear that the entities that have the following fields added to them or are in the following fund, for example, are all green. And if they are in fund 3, they're all blue, you can do that. So we'll show you how to do that. We'll send out all the resources as well. Again, custom fields is that add-on, but bringing you the value, and we'll make sure you have everything you need ahead of time as this rolls out. We're also adding custom fields to people. So like I mentioned earlier, adding things like wiring details, diversity and background information, place of birth, if that's different to citizenship, things like marriage status or marital status, spouse name, gender, all of that can now be added as a custom section in a person with all of the different fields. You can set these fields as pick lists if you have preferences for what options people should select, and you can add people to people groups. It's pretty powerful. So we have a little video of how you can really use that. I've with the product team, built things into that Loom and into that video to show you exactly how to build it out into a person section if you really wanted to customize it. There are some clients that have been asking for this for a couple of months, so keep your eyes out on that, and your CSM will also have more details. Then a pretty big launch as well is extended access. This will be available for very specific enterprise clients. So again, your CSM will have more details. It's not going on for everyone, but it will be available if you would like it. It's going to give you the ability to really make ethical walls work for your team in Athenian. When you sign into an entity, if you have extended access on, whether you are a read-only user, a summary-only user, or a user, you will not only see the information you have direct access to. So let's say I have access to 10 entities and 4 people. If I'm in one of those entities, I will now get visibility into the connected entities, connected ownership that that entity might have that previously I couldn't see. So for example, if I open an entity and previously the registered office was not a part of my direct access group, I wouldn't see that in the entity overview. With this update, you will see the office, you will see the address, you won't be able to open that record, so you can't breach that ethical wall and you can't breach those permissions, but you can see anything that is relevant to that entity and the context that that entity has. This applies to things like securities, if you needed to see ownership and transactions. It applies to affiliations, associations, principals. So if I previously did not have access to Bob and Bob was a director on an entity I had access to, I wouldn't see him, but now I can see him. I can't open the record and redirect to him. I can see minor details, but I can get a really good, perfect picture of ownership without any security risk, as I am working in Athenian and within my access group. More to come on this. There will be a lot of information for you to read through and understand, but a little heads up that that will be coming. Then a really exciting announcement, and just a small note, is we are working to integrate with Companies House in the UK. By the end of this month, we will have some filings available to file directly to Companies House. So keep an eye out on that. You can now file directly with the Companies House in the UK. Then roadmap, or actually, oh, I've spoiled it. I wanted to put up a poll. Let's go back. Karima, we have a poll for Q1 features that people are excited about or that has launched that they're excited about. Please answer, let us know, because we can reach out to you and give you more details if there's something very specific you're interested in. I'm curious, of everything we've mentioned, what has either been most beneficial to you or what we are launching that you are most excited about. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, seconds just to run through all of that, and then we'll dive into what we have planned for Q2. And I think there'll be lots of back and forth on this one as well, and lots of feedback, which is great. Perfect. Great. Thank you, Garima. I think everyone's voted on this. It's still going, which would be great. We'll have a look at those, and if anyone wants to be reached out to on anything specific, we'll make sure that your CSM gets in touch as well, and we send out the resources. Okay, Q2. So this is what we have planned to start working on and launch in Q2. We're very excited about this. As you'll notice, we've been moving very quick. We have been building a lot. And so we're really getting to a place where you as clients are recognizing value consistently and quickly. And please provide feedback. We would love to hear if any of these things are good, not great. If you want some things changed, we've received some very, very good feedback from a lot of users saying that some of the updates have been helpful. So that's always great to know. But starting in Q2, debt is something we will be releasing. We had moved originally, we had some plans for it to come earlier, but we needed to make some final changes and adjustments to make sure it's really good for you and your teams. So storing and tracking shareholder loan information on an entity-to-entity basis is what this feature will be. More to come about the ins and outs of it as well, but basically able to track loans issued, loans received from a borrower perspective, from a lender perspective. You will be able to make things like draws, repayments, cap management, canceling a loan, things like that, forgiveness of loans, all of that would be tracked within Athennian under the debt section. Global audit trail, we're very excited about this as well. This has been a highly requested feature. Just enhanced detail and tracking when it comes to overall auditing of Athennian. So what has a user done? What have they changed? What has changed in an entity? What do you want to track? How do you want to filter that by? All of that is what we're looking at building and thinking about when upgrading this piece. So we'll be working on that as a team, and there will be more to come as well. If you have any comments or thoughts or questions about that, let us know. We'd love to hear what you think. Document permissions, again, highly, highly requested across all of our clients. The ability to lock down documents, basically, lock down folders. This is an initiative we'd really like to focus on, and we will be spending a lot of time on in Q2. New charts, as I had mentioned, we are looking at revamping them. So really giving you the ability to see things in different ways and in different views, being able to group things by regions, show things like limited partnerships or advisors to entities. That concept, that ability to edit and manage the level of customization and viewing in charts is coming. So we're working on that. We're very excited about it. There have been so many pieces of feedback for charts specifically. Our goal is to eventually knock out the need for Visio, I'd say, or PowerPoint, and give you enough efficiency and ease to be able to do everything you need to in Athennian. So that's the goal, and that's what we will be targeting as well in Q2. Improved custom roles is also something we are going to be working on, as well as the custom sections and fields. So these kind of fall into each other in a way, improving the roles, just giving you the ability to customize what a user would see and do in Athennian to an even more significant level. We have a couple of custom roles that we have available today that you can set up with our team, and it hides a couple of sections, but we really want to drum in on this and make sure it's fine-tuned enough for you to meet all of your needs. And then for custom sections and fields, very tailored sections in entities, tailored fields in entities. So if you have entities that are structured a certain way that you're finding the regular format of Athennian is not really working, this will give you the ability to tailor to that need. So really, really cool. We are very excited. We hope you're as excited as we are. We have one more poll actually, and that's for the Q2 stuff. I'm curious who is most excited about what. We'll actually use the results if everyone doesn't mind, and just so that you're aware as you're answering, to understand maybe who to reach out to for more questions about certain things. If a client is very, very interested in a specific thing, we may reach out to you for more discovery and more insights. So Garima, if we could put that poll up, that would be amazing. Just a little Q2 poll. What are you most excited for coming? Of what we have mentioned, there will be more as well. So these are just the massive initiatives or the big initiatives. There will be more improvements, but curious what piques your interest. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably say document permissions and charts have been some of the biggest requests from what I've seen, but you all may have different views. All right, perfect. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we are at 40 minutes, good timing. We'll spend the next 5 minutes or so diving into Q&A. I'm actually going to open it here to the left to make sure that I can see everything. Please keep sending them through. As they're coming, I'll answer them live. And then if there's anything that I miss, we'll make sure to add a follow-up as well for you. So first question here, just started working with Athennian and had information moved in from previous corporate secretary provider. Is there any training for ways to modify the minute books in their individual sections to make it more specific to our needs? Great answer. And yes, you should be getting training if you are a new user. We have various ways in which you can cater to and tailor your minute books. This is also a part of our initiative to update with the documents section and kind of hiding things in document permissions. So if you have any feedback, let us know. We'd love to hear more, but there's a lot of hidden functionality in the minute book, like custom stamps. You can manipulate pages. You can move pages and transform them as well, shifting them from horizontal to vertical. You can add pages, you can remove pages, you can add custom cover pages. There's a lot that you can do based on what plan you're on. So reach out to your CSM or your delivery specialist if you are still at that stage, and they'll be able to give you more information. And then there's also always our training team and resources available to you that we can send as well. So hopefully that is helpful. There is one other question as well. Will extended access be available? Okay, so I see your question. And yes, we'll get in touch with your account manager and chat to you about extended access available for you and your team specifically and what that would look like. We can check in about the conversations there, but I've made a note of it. Brooke is leading your account, so we'll get in touch with her and then we can follow up. I will make sure that we give you the answer that you need. It's available for enterprise, so we'll send out more details as well. But again, you'll have to request it for it to be turned on, and then we can shed some more light on that. There is another question here. Is there a way to add new secure share users to the minute book? Or is that something coming in the future? At the current moment, I cannot add new users as secure share to existing minute book shares. Additionally, any plans to allow secure minute book shares to select entire sections of the minute book instead of needing to select each document individually? Great question. And yes, the short answer is yes. Secure share is a part of our custom roles and permission and also some document permissions. So it overlaps. We know that this needs to be improved. It's actually a feature that gets asked for a lot. So we are on that. We are actually reviewing it with our team. All of product has surfaced it last week and I believe this week as well. So we'll be diving into that. We might follow up if we have some more questions of how you'd like to use it, but that's very clear and it is something that we think needs to be improved for sure. So in short, yes, we're going to be focusing on that. Might not be done by Q2, but we'll incorporate that into all of the initiatives across documents and custom roles and keep it top of mind. Great question. All right, any other questions that have come through? Anything about charts? Anything about custom fields? Anything about, trying to think what else we mentioned. People, custom fields. I'll give everyone a second. All right. I think that's it for questions. That's great. It means it was very clear. We will be sending the deck as well, so keep that in mind. And then we will be giving you a kind of communication of all the features coming too. They'll all have videos, so you'll be able to see that. Oh, custom fields. You missed the very start of the webinar. Are custom fields going to be available for all, or is that based on plan? Great question. It's an add-on. So what plan you're on, you would purchase it additionally to that plan. And then just as a little note, when you purchase the custom fields, you have the ability to choose how many people fields you want to add and how many entity fields you want to add. Your CSM will go through all of that with you, so you can set up your unique preference of what you're looking to track across entity or people, but it is an add-on. So you're not limited when it comes to being on a specific plan. We can go through everything as well, but an add-on for you. We'll make sure your CSM reaches out. And then I've got one more question. AI, is it local to each account or is it connected to the internet? Security questions. It is connected to each account. We don't put any of your information out there. It's not a learning system, so we're not training an AI model on your data. We would never do that. You sign very strict security measures with our team when you guys sign on. So we also have an infrastructure and architecture sheet that we can send you just to give you a good overview of the security protocols. But if you are interested, we'll make sure that the CSM reaches out for that and can send it to you and the team to review. It's very, very well protected. We make sure everything is secure, so it's not internet-wide and ChatGPT chaos. It's specific to you and the documents you upload, so we can make sure that that's clear. Great question. All right, any other questions? Some really good ones. any structure chart questions, things that you would like in structure charts as well. I'm curious for that. Document permissions, locking down folders. I'll give everyone a few seconds and then we can move on if there are no other ones. Being able to add a heading to charts. Yes, absolutely. There is this concept of a structure chart style book that we are looking at. Completely agree. Being able to save it with different headings, being able to come in and add information that might not be relevant to ownership. Great piece of feedback, and we have heard it. So not the first time that's been asked. Agreed and noted, and we've already been looking into that. Also, current date of generation. Agreed. Yes. Being able to see when it was generated and saved. Completely agree. What about locking out specific fields, such as hiding company keys, but not needing to add them as a note, and being able to store that information in the compliance section? I'll read that one more time. So what about locking out specific fields, such as hiding company keys, but not needing to add them as a note, being able to store that information in the compliance section? Great question. So today we have a level of locking available to you in PII. It's very specific and it's personal identifiable information. This is not what you are asking, but we have some functionality to it. Something we can definitely look at, especially with the fields and section customizations, is a great ask. Basically the ability to lock down those fields to specific users. We'd be curious, actually, we might reach out to you for more discussions here, is would it be specific to a user? Would it be specific to an admin? What would you expect if you generated a document? Those kinds of things might come up as well, but this is a part of the initiative when it comes to custom fields, custom sections, and giving you that flexibility with tailoring what you see in an entity, where you see it, and how much you see. So great question. We will definitely follow up. Perfect. That's great to know. We'll follow up with you for sure. Company key for specific users and admin. That's a great ask. All right. If there's anyone else in product here, we'll make a note of it too. We'll keep this chat, but that's great to know. So company key specifically, hiding that field would be good. So it's only available to certain users. Great ask. Yeah, appreciate that. All right. Thank you, everyone. If there are more questions, let us know. This has been very collaborative. Really appreciate it. Quickly, you will receive an email with a link to download the full deck. The recording will also be available, so me confirming all these things will be live and recorded, but your CSM will have that on hand for you. There is one more question that has come through. We'll make sure to follow up with you as well. But connect with us on LinkedIn. Please, let's stay in touch. Really appreciate the collaboration. And as always, we look forward to seeing you at the next one we do. It's always great to hear that things we're doing are working and are providing value for you. All right. Thanks, everyone.